Yeah, this is Matt Osborne, and I just walking across the Capitol. What do they call this? The mall, the plaza, yeah. And commented on my shoulder support chest thing,
which is wonderful.
Yes. And then he gave me his card. It's Matt Osborne, who I've been, reading his tweets and blog posts for, I don't know, 2 or 3 months now or something. But there he is.
Hi.
And you do a lot of good video stuff too.
Thank you. Yeah, I got a camera and started trying to, it was still Tea Party season. I wanted to capture a little bit of that, but at some point I got a better camera and decided, it's really time to start trying to change the story. I saw Appalachia Rising, 114 people got arrested in front of the White House. And covering that, I had a revelation as I watched that. I have never seen an act of civil disobedience at a Tea Party, and I've covered a dozen. I thought to myself, maybe that's it. Maybe that's the proof that what we're seeing, and I keep trying to show in these videos, maybe what we're seeing is fake. Maybe it's not real. And it occurred to me then that I had something. I started, I went down to the School of the Americas Watch in November and covered that. And of course, that was a really interesting situation because that movement has shrunk over the years. It was actually the lowest attendance in the 20-year history of this long-running peace activism event.
Right.
And
yeah, I guess that was probably big in the 80s.
Right.
Yeah.
And what happened was that while I was there, the police department overreached, and the result was that they got that jailhouse solidarity that's so thrilling to watch on that video. I still cry every time I watch it. And after that, December, going to Winter Soldier in Washington, D.C. again, and 300 veterans marching in front of the White House, standing in line. It was a frozen Thermopylae. Heavy snowfall starts coming down, and they will not be moved. That was so thrilling. I was like, yes! And I've been shouting from the rooftops since December of 2009. Why isn't the progressive movement answering this tea tide? Why is the narrative all being driven by this fake AstroTurf organizing? Why are we letting that happen? And I'm so happy to see a movement get up off its duff and start moving again. That's what's so thrilling about this day. I never thought I'd live long enough to see Montgomery, Alabama and Nashville, Tennessee have actual progressive protests. I didn't think that I would see that in my lifetime. And I'm thrilled. And I want to see more of it. I want more. Hope and Change are not a man. They're a movement. They're a movement. Yeah. You are the linchpin of change. You.
Now, when I saw Wisconsin happening, and right after Egypt, and I don't know if you do Twitter.
I do. Yeah.
Of course you do Twitter. I've had like 5 people tell me I don't do Twitter today. So, AC Carvin, or is it A Carvin? The guy that's from NPR that's been doing a bunch of stuff.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
I'll have to look him up.
But he said Wisconsin. He said I got a message to you from such and such, and he listed a bunch of Twitter names of Egypt saying we're with you.
Yes. I saw the news item about Egyptians calling the pizza place at the state capitol in Madison to buy pizza for the protesters in Madison. Yeah, this has always had this sort of international bent to it, because people are people everywhere.
Yeah. And
we all are more free when we are shoulder to shoulder in solidarity. And that word, by the way, Glenn Beck is going to try to make that word sound bad. So I just want to say right now, just to remind everybody, that solidarity is a labor movement that was being crushed by the Soviet system and rose up against it and won. Solidarity is not left or right. Solidarity is about sticking together.
Yeah. Bill Maher said something. One of his clips. He said, Egypt you know, this was like the day after or January 25th, and he said, you know, Egypt, you know, rose up, but can't remember the exact word he used, but you know, rose up against the powerful and demanded their rights, and said someday they're going to have to tell us how they did it. And then so I tweeted it. I said yes. So we'll have to start doing that, and then not long after that, Wisconsin and.
You know, I got to tell you, seeing the uprising in Wisconsin, and you know, it had to start in the Midwest. It had to start in the heart of America. You can't start that in, San Francisco, because they'll just say, it's just San Francisco. But if you do it in Madison, Wisconsin, that's the middle of America. That's a workers' movement. And you know what? I got to tell you, if the Tea Party wants to line up against the workers' movement, let them. I've been in my blog for 2 years. I've been talking about what the Tea Party really is and what it really represents, and I'm being proven absolutely right every single time they line up against the American worker now. Yep. So I couldn't be happier with that. Let them. It's their right. They can carry a ugly, stupid, misspelled sign if they want to. But you know what? If they want to line up with the billionaires, that's fine. Doesn't bother me one bit.
Did you see Rumsfeld talking to Jon Stewart a couple of nights ago?
I don't watch Donald Rumsfeld because he makes me scream.
Well, yeah, and when I saw he was coming on, I was just going to watch the first half of the show, and then I'm going to stop watching. And then it came out, and then you know, and then Jon Stewart said, I just want to clear the air right now. He said, I know this has been bothering you, so apology accepted. And then Rumsfeld laughed and stuff. But
well, I got to tell you, I actually knew who Rumsfeld was paraphrasing when he said, you go to war with the army you have.
Yeah.
I've studied military history, and I knew that he was paraphrasing General S.L.A. Marshall. And I thought, you know what? I have that book on the shelf behind me, and I went and I grabbed it. And I pulled it out, and sure enough, right there in the same paragraph is, you know, a message about how weapons can never be perfected in the course of a war. And he's talking about World War II, in which an entire class of weaponry was designed and manufactured and put on the front lines within the space of a year. You know, in World War II, the United States started with 6 aircraft carriers and ended the war with 114 in just 4 years. That's the strength of American manufacturing. I can't remember who it was. It was a Japanese general who was a prisoner of war in the United States. And when he was going across the country, he realized why his country was losing the war. He was on a train and he was looking out the window and he was seeing all those factories. Those were union workers in those factories, you know. You know, there was a time when not most, but a lot of Americans belong to unions. We've seen the private sector unions destroyed by offshoring and outsourcing, and they're coming for the public employee unions because that's all that's left. That's all that's left. And we are not as strong as we were back then because of that. But thank you for...
Hey, thank you.